Imagine Times Square without the crowds, the neon lights still glowing but reflecting off empty pavement instead of bustling tourists and locals. The heart of New York City, usually pulsing with life at all hours, now feels like a stage after the show has ended, silent, waiting, almost surreal in its stillness. There's just a gentle hum where there was once a roar, a city's heartbeat slowed to a whisper. The benches, once a resting spot for weary travelers, now sit untouched, and the only movement comes from the occasional pigeon. Picture the Grand Canyon at sunset, nearly empty, its vastness echoing with silence. The wind sweeps across the ancient rocks, carrying only the sound of nature, uninterrupted by the usual chorus of cameras clicking and voices marveling at the view. Once bustling American landmarks are now strangely quiet, a silence that signals absence, not peace. The National Mall, the Lincoln Memorial and other icons stand as silent witnesses to a pause in the nation's story. Tour guides have idle hours, their stories and facts left untold, their voices echoing in empty spaces. They wait, hoping for the return of curious visitors eager to learn and explore. Lines for museums and rides have vanished. Attractions that once required patience and planning can now be experienced without a wait, but the thrill of anticipation is gone, replaced by an eerie sense of vacancy. You can walk right up to the Liberty Bell, no crowds to navigate, no need to wait your turn. The historic symbol stands alone, its story unchanged, but its audience missing. Or get a front row seat at Old Faithful, the geyser's eruption witnessed by only a handful of people. The spectacle remains, but the shared excitement is gone. While solitude might sound appealing, this emptiness is a warning sign for America's global connection. Airports, once gateways to adventure and reunion, now echo with the sound of rolling suitcases and distant announcements. The vibrant mix of cultures, the energy, the excitement, gone, replaced by a subdued atmosphere. Cafes that once overflowed with laughter and conversation now sit quietly, their tables empty. The international flavor that made places like Fisherman's Wharf or the French Quarter unique has faded. The music, the food, the languages, all have quieted, leaving only memories of what once was. The issue isn't the attractions. They're as magnificent as ever, standing strong and beautiful, waiting for visitors to return and marvel at their grandeur. It's that fewer people are making the journey. The world feels a little farther away, and the bridges that once connected us seem harder to cross. This emptiness reflects closed doors, anxious minds, and a growing sense that America is no longer easy to visit. The silence of these landmarks is a reminder of how much we miss the world, and how much the world misses us. When tourists vanish, local businesses feel it first. Family-run hotels near national parks face empty parking lots and tough choices, lower rates, fewer staff, uncertain futures. Restaurants that once had 2-hour waits now have empty tables and cut back on local produce. Servers and shop owners struggle as tips and sales dry up. Each empty room and table ripples through the community, shrinking summer jobs and cultural exchange. Towns that once felt connected to the world now feel isolated. Theme parks offer discounts but can't replace international visitors. Museums cut programs, and even Broadway feels the loss. The entire tourism ecosystem is interconnected. When one part suffers, all feel the tremors. The quiet isn't just eerie, it's expensive. Why are international tourists skipping the US? It comes down to border anxiety, tough visas, and a chilly atmosphere. Stories of stressful airport interrogations and invasive searches make travelers wary. The US border feels more like a barrier than a gateway. The visa process is daunting. Long forms, high fees, endless waits, and no guarantees. Many simply give up and choose countries with easier, friendlier entry. Beyond logistics, America's image has shifted. Some feel it's less welcoming. Political rhetoric and policy changes reinforce this perception. Travelers want relaxation, not confrontation. An invisible wall of anxiety and bureaucracy keeps millions away: tourists, students, business people, artists. They'd love to see the Grand Canyon or visit family, but the hassle isn't worth it. America loses not just their money, but the cultural connections they bring. The world is choosing other destinations. The numbers tell one story, but travelers' experiences tell another. While official statistics may show millions of visitors crossing US borders each year, the reality for many is far more complicated and unsettling. Behind every data point is a personal journey, one that can be abruptly derailed by suspicion, bureaucracy, or a simple misunderstanding. Take the case of a German engineer, invited to a prestigious tech conference in Silicon Valley. Instead of a warm welcome, He's detained for hours, questioned repeatedly, and left feeling like a suspect rather than a guest. Frustrated and humiliated, he vows never to return, sharing his ordeal with colleagues and friends back home. Or consider a Mexican grandmother who traveled thousands of miles to meet her newborn grandchild. At the border, she's denied entry without clear explanation, her dreams shattered as she's sent home in tears, her family left heartbroken on both sides of the border. A British professor whose only crime is a years-old academic trip to Iran is turned away after hours of interrogation. His expertise and goodwill are lost, replaced by confusion and resentment. Even families aren't spared. An Italian family's long-awaited American vacation is ruined when their teenage son's common name triggers a security flag. Hours of questioning and missed connections later, their excitement is turned to anxiety and regret. These stories don't stay at the border. They spread rapidly through social media, news outlets, and word of mouth, painting the U.S. as a place where visitors are treated with suspicion and hostility rather than hospitality. The common thread running through these experiences is a sense of powerlessness, humiliation, and deep disrespect. Travelers who once dreamed of visiting America now question whether it's worth the risk. The Statue of Liberty, once a beacon of hope and welcome, now feels distant and symbolic rather than real, especially when a visitor's first encounter is fear, suspicion, and exclusion. For every person turned away at the border, countless others hear these stories and quietly decide to stay home, canceling trips and changing plans. The ripple effect is felt in empty hotels, vacant attractions, and lost opportunities for connection. The Welcome to the United States sign, once a symbol of open arms, now rings hollow for many. The promise of hospitality is overshadowed by the reality of suspicion and exclusion. These encounters are not just personal disappointments, they are damaging America's reputation as a friendly, welcoming nation. The world is watching, and the message being sent is colder than ever before. When travelers compare destinations, the United States often finds itself at a disadvantage, losing out to friendlier, more welcoming rivals around the globe. Despite its iconic landmarks and world-famous cities, the U.S. is increasingly seen as a less inviting place for international visitors. Just across the border, Canada's entry process stands in stark contrast. It's quick, polite, and mostly online, making it easy for travelers to feel at ease from the moment they arrive. Friendly border officers greet visitors with a smile, and digital kiosks streamline the process, reducing wait times and stress. In Europe, the Schengen area has revolutionized travel. Tourists can cross borders with remarkable ease, often without even stopping. E-gates and advanced facial recognition technology speed things up, allowing travelers to move freely and efficiently between countries, making the entire experience seamless and enjoyable. Asia-Pacific nations like Australia and New Zealand have made tourism a top priority. Their streamlined visa processes and genuinely warm welcomes set the tone for a positive trip. Visitors are often greeted by friendly staff, and visa-on-arrival options make entry simple and stress-free. Southeast Asia is world-renowned for its hospitality. In places like Thailand and Singapore, travelers breeze through passport control, greeted by smiling faces and helpful staff. The focus is on making guests feel comfortable and valued from the very start. In these countries, travelers are seen as guests, not potential threats. The emphasis is on creating a welcoming atmosphere, where visitors feel appreciated and safe. Their border procedures are not only secure but also efficient and pleasant. The process is designed to be as smooth as possible, ensuring that security doesn't come at the expense of hospitality. In contrast, the U.S. border experience is often defined by long lines, stern officers, and a focus on security above all else. Hospitality can feel like an afterthought, leaving many travelers feeling unwelcome or even intimidated. Other nations have shown that it's possible to be both safe and welcoming. They prove that security and hospitality can go hand in hand, creating a positive first impression for visitors. For travelers, the choice is becoming increasingly clear: a smooth, friendly entry abroad, or a stressful ordeal at the U.S. border. The difference in experience can shape an entire trip. America is losing out to countries that simply smile more at the front door, making visitors feel wanted and respected from the very beginning. The world is choosing to go where it feels wanted, and as a result, international tourists are flocking to destinations that offer not just sights, but a sense of belonging. The message is clear: hospitality matters, and the U.S. must adapt if it wants to remain a top choice for global travelers. Fewer visitors mean empty seats on planes and in classrooms. Airlines cut international routes, making travel harder for everyone. America's status as a global business hub is threatened as conferences move to more accessible cities. Lower international attendance means lost revenue and missed opportunities. Universities feel the pinch as fewer international students enroll, hurting finances, research, and campus diversity. Students choose Canada, Australia, or the UK instead. Even medical tourism suffers as patients seek care in countries with easier entry. Every sector that relies on global movement is affected by America's invisible wall. The decline isn't just about tourism, it's about weakening global ties. The world is looking elsewhere. The world's view of America is shifting. Once seen as open and full of opportunity, the US is now viewed as insular and difficult. Stories of harsh border crossings and unfriendly policies erode America's soft power. Global opinion polls show declining favorability. A tarnished reputation affects tourism, business, and diplomacy. American companies struggle abroad and international cooperation suffers. Fewer artists, scientists, and thinkers visit, making the country more isolated. The global conversation America once led is fading. Rebuilding goodwill takes more than policy. It takes a change in tone and attitude. The loss isn't just economic, it's about losing friends and trust. Restoring America's image is crucial for its future. There's hope. America can reopen its doors with smart changes. Streamline the visa process, more staff, better tech, clearer rules, and expanded waiver programs. Make the border experience efficient and respectful. Train officers in courtesy and cultural sensitivity. Invest in modern tech like biometric e-gates to speed up entry for low-risk travelers. Launch a national hospitality campaign, multilingual signs, staff training, and marketing America's diversity. Local communities can promote cultural exchange and make visitors feel at home. Every positive interaction helps rebuild America's reputation. Leadership matters. Politicians must send a consistent message of openness and respect. These steps don't compromise security, they balance it with welcome. It's time to make America's front door inviting again. This is about more than economics, it's about who we are. Travel breaks down barriers and builds understanding. Every happy visitor becomes an ambassador for America. The silence in our landmarks warns us we're losing vital connections. A closed-off country loses ideas, perspectives, and a piece of its soul. America's strength has always been its openness and diversity. The world still dreams of visiting. Our challenge is to fix the welcome. Smart policies and a spirit of hospitality can turn things around. Let's fill our parks and cities with the buzz of global voices again. An open door enriches our communities and reaffirms our place in the world. Hospitality is more than good business. It's a reflection of our values. It's time to roll out the welcome mat and invite the world back in.